Hi, and welcome to Hull and Hull TV. I'm Dana O'Brien, and I'm joined by Ian Hull and Suzana Popovic-Montag, partners at Hull and Hull LLP, an innovative law firm that practices exclusively in estate, trust, and capacity litigation. Here at Hull and Hull TV, we're exploring the issues around estate planning that affect you. Ian and Suzana, let's get back to the basics and some of the first steps in estate planning. Suzana, we know many Canadians have not taken that first step and don't have a will. Tell us why they should.
Well, the reality is that if you don't take that initiative and create your own estate plan, then the legislative scheme is going to distribute your estate for you. And that'll determine who it is that's going to be the executor of your estate and who's going to benefit from it. And that may not be what you would have otherwise have wanted or even intended.
Ian, what are some of those life events that may trigger a need to review or update an estate plan?
Well, I think naturally people understand that when they get married or when they get divorced or when they get children brought into their lives, those are triggering points to assess your estate plan. Hopefully, on all of those, you're going to redo it. But one that is often forgotten is when there's a significant change in your financial circumstances. That's another important trigger to rethink and reconsider all of the options available to you in your estate plan.
Suzana, family dynamics are changing. Second and third marriages are more common. So what's the best way of avoiding a family fallout and potential litigation?
I think the best way to do that actually is to anticipate the kinds of things that you think may happen and then try to reduce the possibility of it as much as possible. For instance, if you have children who are currently not getting along, chances are that when you pass away, that's not going to become any easier for those individuals to get along. And so being realistic about what's going to happen, I think, is really the key.
Ian, baby boomers are a generation of tremendous wealth. What's an important consideration for baby boomers when estate planning?
Well, when I look at that passing on of wealth, when they've got time in their hands, which they typically do, the baby boomer generation still have time. I always remind my clients two things. One is don't run your estate around the tax rules. Run your estate from your heart. The tax rules can be added into the scheme and can be considered after. But if you design your whole estate plan around the best tax methodology, you're not necessarily going to achieve what you hope to achieve from your heart. Secondly, I always think about it and I think, from my perspective, you've got the time. And it's like anything in life. The earlier you get working on an end plan, the more flexibility you're going to have. So for example, if you want to fund some of your tax liability on death, you can consider, even at the boomer stage, buying life insurance or creating tax advantageous plans that will allow a nice cadence of payments to allow for a final hit when you pass away. So those kinds of advanced planning, use that time which you have. Don't wait till 5 to midnight when you're on your deathbed to try to strangle together everything that's going to make your estate plan effective.
Suzana, talking to your family about your will and wishes is never an easy conversation, but tell us why it's so important.
Well, making your estate plan known to your family and doing it while you're alive, I think really is the key, because you do want to manage expectations that may have taken a lifetime to accumulate. And so having these conversations, explaining your wishes, explaining why you've chosen to distribute in the fashion that you have, will hopefully avoid the possibility of having your will challenged.
Ian and Suzana, good advice. Thank you. And thanks for joining us on Hull and Hull TV.